Hello, John. This is Steve Wright. How are you?
Hello, Steve. I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, we're great. It's 6 a.m. there, right?
You caught me waking up. That's what you caught me
That's
doing.
insane.
Is Tim there, too?
I am. Good morning. How are you?
Fine. I'm waking up. I'm having coffee as I'm speaking with you.
Okay.
I'd like to think you're actually sat in bed talking to us.
I am. I have a proper tray
Oh, good.
with a silver craft of very strong coffee
Yeah.
and some orange juice, and I'm sitting in bed talking to the two of you.
Well, this is exciting. We should say that we recorded this morning,
Yeah.
and when you called, a big cheer went up. Because you called us, a big cheer went up in the control room. Yeah!
I love it. That's very... You know, I just learned today that they're celebrating my birthday in Los Angeles by doing a big screening of the sing-along of Grease, and I just was very touched by that. I thought, wow, that's going to be very bittersweet. One, that I can't be there, but two, that there's actually hundreds of people that want to do that. I thought that was really sweet.
Because you're 59 again, aren't you, on Tuesday?
Yes.
Happy birthday then, John. Happy 59th.
Yeah. Hey, listen, when was the first time you ever knew that you were an actor? Because I remember the first time I ever saw you must have been on the TV thing, Welcome Back, Kotter?
Yes.
You must have done loads of stuff before then, obviously.
Yes, I had done Broadway and off-Broadway and summer theater throughout my childhood, teenage years, and finally when I got on the show, I left New York and did that. But, yeah, I did theater for 14 years, on and off.
What was the plan back in those days? Did you want to just continue in theatre? Did you think, well, I'd like to do movies, I want to sing?
That's a good question, because the truth is I only thought that it would be theater because that's all we knew. My family was a theater thespian. So I didn't think it would go beyond that. But then when I started getting cast in TV commercials and radio commercials, I got another idea that maybe film was something that, A, I'd be good at, but B, would be an opportunity. And my agent invited me to start auditioning for film as well.
When you started getting successful on television and in the movies, did you find it a curse being a heartthrob?
That's also an interesting question, because most of the people in my era did find it a curse, but I had a very clever agent that turned manager that saw a bigger picture and said, okay, we'll use that, we'll usurp that energy of the youthful audience, and we'll turn it into something more serious. And so we turned that same kind of fame into a really good TV movie called Boy in the Plastic Bubble, and then shortly after that, Saturday Night Fever and Grease.
When you look back, do you think that Saturday Night Fever and Grease and the films around that era were almost too successful?
Well, I don't think anything can be too successful because it gives you a blueprint for your career. And because it started with an Academy Award nomination, it gave me a gravitas that most young people in my situation didn't have.
But you know what I mean, John? It's kind of something that you have to kind of move on from.
Well, you always move from your first movies you do. The difference with those movies, let's say, including Urban Cowboy, they started public trends. They're trend-setting movies, so there was a different energy about those movies. They had another dimension to them. So that was what made them unique, more than that they were just big hits.
Yeah.
They actually gave a contribution to that particular dynamic in life. People who had something to do. They saw the movie, but then they went to clubs, or they rode mechanical bulls, or they...
Yeah. By the way, can I just ask you, are you still in bed?
I am.
Are you not moving around yet?
No.
Oh, I'm busy talking to you. I'm not going to move around.
Excuse me, he's sitting in bed. He's got a tray there with coffee. How can he get up and move around? He's got a tray on his lap.
Well, the tray is right next to... I'm cross-legged on the bed, and the tray is at my knees.
Right.
And I've got the coffee right in front of me here.
Will you be getting out of bed shortly to do some exercises?
Yeah, I do every day. I play tennis and I lift weights, so I'll probably do that today.
Listen, Tim wants to poke a few questions at you.
One more question about the bedroom. Is there a television on in the corner or not, John?
There's a television at the foot of the bed. It's kind of large.
It's too early. All the infomercials are on now.
Actually, I'm not going to poke a question at you about films. I'll come back to the films in a moment, but it's the flying that intrigues me and interests me.
Yeah.
Was that an interest you always had from a young age, and did you get to a point in your career when you thought, do you know what, I can afford my own plane now?
Yes. I actually had the interest from 5 years of age and living not too far from a couple of major airports. Then the family started travel and theater and nightclub acts and what have you, and I go to the airport to see them off. And then by the time I got into the theater and I could save a few dollars, I bought a tiny single-engine propeller plane and that took me through to the jet age, you know, where I just was able to evolve into a jet pilot.
Wow.
Now, how many aircraft do you own? You own airliners, don't you?
I have a Boeing, but I have retired it as of this year. You know, Elvis Presley had a Convair 880, which is an airliner, and it's in a museum, and I decided that this airliner I had would just remain in the backyard, and when I pass on, then my kids could do what the Presleys did, and they could show it at some museum or something as the family plane.
This Sunday, John is in London for a conversation with John Travolta. It's at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane. At the event, fans will have the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to hear John Travolta talk about his incredible life and career. And my question is, you won't be flying yourself here in this particular instance?
I will be, yes. I will be leaving on Thursday. I will fly overnight to London. I will stay until Monday, and I'll have my engagement on Sunday where people get to ask questions and see me in the raw there. So
You'll be flying your plane yourself?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So where will you land?
Well, right now it's either at Heathrow or Farnborough. We haven't decided which yet. It depends on what the slots are available. So,
John, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I think it is, too. Very imaginative when it comes to how I live my life with aviation.
What are you going to be flying anyway? Because you've not got the Boeing airliner. What are you flying?
So it's called the Challenger. It's a Bombardier product, and it's quite lovely. It's a 600 series. It's 6013ARA, which is extended range.
Oh, that is fantastic. I think, by the way, I mean, I'm not an expert, but I think it'll be more expensive to park it at Heathrow than Farnborough.
Yes, and that's probably why we'll end up at Farnborough.
It's a bit more of a trek into London from Farnborough, though.
You could always go to Southend or Luton.
I like Luton.
Yeah, that was good.
I do like Luton. Last time I went to Luton. That's a good airport. You know, the British have such an extraordinary aviation history, and I always felt that they had aviation supremacy, and I always enjoyed that. I love the lead they took with the Concorde and the lead they took with the Comet when the jets first came out, and Whittle and the jet engine. I mean, I just think that the British have a real love, like I do, of aviation and transportation. And it's exciting. I love the museums in Britain regarding aviation as well.
Yeah.
It's terrific.
In terms of movies, last thing I saw you in was From Paris with Love, and before that, I think it was Taking a Pelham with Denzel. And you've kind of taken a little break from, you know, like the non-stop making movies.
Yeah, I did one last year with Robert De Niro called The Killing Season, and that was a nice success. That was a two-character acting piece where I played a ex-Serbian soldier, and he played an American soldier, and it was quite a well-written film. But yeah, I'm not doing necessarily them back-to-back like I used to. Although this year, I may do a few. I have one coming out called The Forger that is directed by Philip Martin, who's a British director. And that comes out, and then I'll probably do one or two more this year, which will come out the following year.
Brilliant.
So a little more than last year's busyness. But, you know, I enjoy it, but I am pretty picky about what I'll do and what I won't do.
Yeah, I bet. Tell us what we can see in a conversation with John Travolta. It's at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane, by the way, and it's this Sunday.
I think that the difference will be is that there'll be some interplay with the audience and maybe a bit of a birthday celebration for me. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And, I guess I'm going to have to go wherever the questions lead us, you know.
Will you answer anything?
Oh, pretty much. I mean, if I find it too personal or too negative, then I probably would acknowledge it, but I probably wouldn't indulge in it.
And we should say you're in conversation with the great Barry Norman as well.
Yes.
A conversation with John Travolta at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane in London this Sunday at 6 p.m. He's flying in. It's his birthday on Tuesday, right? So you'll definitely be sung happy birthday by the audience and by everybody else.
That's very sweet. I'm looking forward to that. It'll be fun.
Now, are you walking around now?
I'm not. I've had my second cup, and I'm still cross-legged in the bed.
All right, well, I don't mean to be rude, but can you get up now?
No.
You mean, will I be stiff from...
No.
Or am I naked? I'm actually naked, too.
Oh.
John, thanks very much.
That's enough now.
I think we're done.
All right.
Thank you, John.
Take
Fantastic. Care. Good luck with it. John Travolta, everybody. Thank you.